Soon you will be able to pay for groceries at every Whole Foods in the U.S. with just a swipe of your hand. Amazon says that the Pay by Palm technology will be at all of those stores nationwide by the end of the year. Customers just have to hover their hand over the device to pay. This method is already being used at 200 Whole Foods locations across 20 states, and you can also find it in other places, stores like Panera Bread. Hardware editor at TechCrunch, Brian Heater, joins us now. Brian, let's just start off. Tell us how this technology works.
Sure. So in terms of the actual enrollment process, the first time you go to one of these Amazon One locations, you wave your hand over it. That will enroll you in the program, and then you associate that with a credit card that you have on file. In terms of the actual underlying technology behind it, it's not actually getting a read of the palm itself, which, I think is what most people expect. It's actually taking a look at the vein patterns underneath your hands, which Amazon is effectively saying is a way to do this kind of biometric identification without actually giving any identifying information away.
That's fascinating. I mean, I think anybody who hears this story immediately goes to questions about safety, privacy, the data that's being collected. Amazon has been criticized in the past for some of the data that they collect, and whether they have properly notified consumers about that. What safeguards is Amazon taking?
Sure. Well, the primary one is all of this is going through Amazon's cloud servers. So this is encrypted information. Amazon has generally done a good job of protecting privacy through the cloud itself. I think one of the sort of bigger concerns around this specifically is that unlike the biometric data that you're giving on your phone, for example, that's stored locally on the device itself, but this is going up into the cloud. So like theoretically, somebody could potentially grab that data, but it's intensely difficult.
The ability to pay for anything, anywhere, could be in the palm of your hand, literally. Amazon rolling out its new palm paying technology to hundreds of Whole Foods stores around the country. Some Panera Bread locations have already started to utilize this feature as well. And you may have already seen it pop up in airports, stadiums, and casinos also. So how does it work? Well, News Nation's Elizabeth Pran is here to explain. Hey, Elizabeth.
Hey, Kelly. Yeah, if you're thinking, what is biometrics, you might be more familiar with it than you know. If you think about it, every time you open up your iPhone, you're using facial recognition. Prior to that, you were using your thumbprint. But just imagine if you had to go to the grocery store on your way home from work and you didn't have your phone or your wallet. If you're going to one of these Whole Foods locations, all you need is your palm. In fact, Amazon is halfway through the rollout. They're going to be outfitting 500 of their Whole Foods stores with this pay with your palm. Yes, your hand. You simply hover your palm over an Amazon One device and it scans the veins under your skin. So that creates a map that's unique to you. It identifies you, links you to your profile that you signed up with on Amazon One, and voila, you're done. You've paid. So if you're living near the 200 locations that have already signed up, it's in states such as Montana, Colorado, California, Georgia, really all over. You've probably already seen it. And like you mentioned, we've seen this pay by palm at Panera and baseball parks and NASCAR raceways and retailers. And it sounds so simple, but how does this all work and where does the information go? So it's not a credit card or a password. So Amazon will say it's safer, right? Because it can't be duplicated or, you can't be impersonated by someone at the store. And while we did liken the technology to you opening up your phone, it's actually quite different because all the data they receive about your palm is actually stored in the cloud. And that's why we're seeing criticism from critics. They're saying, wait, not so fast. There are privacy, security, even human rights concerns when it comes to any type of biometrics tracking. So could the cloud storage for palm signatures be hacked? Could it be, could that information be provided to the government if they asked, or could ever be shared? So there's a handful of states that do have legislation or they're considering laws to regulate biometrics in the public sector. And it's actually quite timely because Amazon is already facing a class action suit for some of their Amazon Go stores in New York. They have a system where you can walk out with items without paying for it because they can have the RF code and they know what you basically purchased at the store. So we have reached out for comment from Amazon. We haven't heard back, but we do suspect that we'll see additional states sort of looking to this technology and saying, is it safe for the consumer? So I think we'll see more of this, Kelly.
All right, and a lot to consider here. Elizabeth Brand, thank you so much for the breakdown.